The air in Helene's home seemed to hang heavy with grief after the passing of her beloved husband. The rooms echoed with the silence of loneliness, and every corner held a memory that now felt like a fleeting dream. With her heart heavy, Helene tried to adjust to the emptiness that had settled in their once vibrant house. One gloomy afternoon, as Helene sat in the living room surrounded by fading photographs, Esther, her daughter-in-law, entered without a word. The atmosphere tensed as Esther glared at Helene with an accusatory look. "Helene, you need to understand that we have expenses to cover. The life insurance payout is the only way to manage everything now," Esther declared with an air of entitlement. "But Esther, the insurance is meant to support both of us. Your father-in-law wanted to ensure we both have financial security," Helene replied, her voice quivering with a mix of sadness and frustration. Esther scoffed. "Well, he's not here now, is he? We need to think practically. You're old, you don't need that much money. I can manage it better." The dialogue unfolded like a bitter exchange, highlighting the growing tension between the two women. Helene, still grieving, found herself caught in a battle over her late husband's legacy. As the days passed, the struggle only deepened, leaving Helene grappling not only with the loss of her partner, but also with the looming conflict within her own family. The house that was once a haven for Helene became a battleground as tensions between her and Esther escalated. Esther's behavior grew increasingly intolerable, not just towards Helene, but also towards the household maids who worked diligently to maintain some semblance of order. One evening, the household was in disarray, and the atmosphere was thick with resentment. Helene watched in silence as Esther berated one of the maids, Maria, for a minor oversight. Esther's voice cut through the air. "Maria, how many times do I have to tell you to do things properly? This is unacceptable. I won't tolerate incompetence." Maria, her eyes downcast, replied softly, "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll fix it right away." Helene couldn't bear the injustice and decided to speak up. "Esther, there's no need to be so harsh. Mistakes happen, and Maria is doing her best." Esther shot Helene a withering look. "You always defend them, don't you? Maybe you're getting too old to notice incompetence when you see it." The tension in the room heightened, and Helene could feel the weight of Esther's disdain. The maids, though used to Esther's outbursts, exchanged uneasy glances. Later that night, as Helene retired to her room, she overheard Esther on the phone, speaking in hushed tones. "No, I can't stand it anymore. They need to learn their place. I'm the lady of this house, not them," Esther said, her voice dripping with contempt. The realization hit Helene that the mistreatment extended beyond her. Esther's disregard for others, especially those in vulnerable positions, painted a bleak picture of the household dynamics. As tensions reached a boiling point, Helene found herself caught in the crossfire of Esther's disdain for both the maids and her. Days turned into weeks, and the strain in Helene's home became unbearable. The walls seemed to close in as Esther's mistreatment persisted. The breaking point came when a tragic accident left Helene in need of constant care, highlighting the urgency of change. One afternoon, Helene, using a cane for support, struggled to move around the house. Esther, as always, was quick to express her impatience. "Can't you move any faster, Helene? I don't have all day. There's so much to do," Esther snapped, her frustration evident. "I'm doing my best, Esther. I never asked for this accident," Helene replied, her voice tinged with both pain and frustration. As Esther continued to berate her, Helene felt a surge of determination to escape the toxic environment. That evening, with the help of caring relatives, she made the difficult decision to move into a retirement facility. As Helene prepared to leave, Esther's resentment reached a new high. "So you're just going to abandon us? Leave all the responsibilities to me?" "Typical," Esther spat out, her tone accusatory. Helene, with a newfound resolve, responded, "I need care, Esther. I can't stay in a place that only brings me misery. It's time for me to prioritize my well-being." The decision to move out marked a turning point in Helene's life, a step towards independence and self-preservation. Little did she know that this choice would set in motion a series of events that would unveil the truth about the dynamics within her son's household and expose Esther's falsehoods about the housekeepers. The retirement facility welcomed Helene with open arms, offering a haven of peace and healing. The walls of her new room, adorned with pictures of her late husband and cherished memories, felt like a fresh start. Helene reveled in the tranquility that had eluded her for so long. During her first week, Helene spent time exploring the facility and engaging in activities with other residents. As she shared stories with new friends, she felt a renewed sense of independence. One day, Hannah, a fellow resident with a warm smile and a kind heart, approached Helene in the communal area. "I heard you've been through a lot, Helene. If you ever need someone to talk to or need help getting around, don't hesitate to ask," Hannah offered, her empathy evident. Helene, touched by the genuine concern, replied, "Thank you, Hannah. It's been a challenging time, but I'm grateful to have found refuge here." As days turned into weeks, Helene adapted to her new surroundings. The facility provided not just physical care, but also emotional support, and Helene found solace in the companionship of those who understood her struggles. During a communal dinner, Helene shared her story with a group of residents, including Martha, an eloquent woman with a keen sense of humor. Martha chuckled, "Well, you've escaped the clutches of a tyrant, Helene. Here's to freedom and a fresh start." As the laughter echoed through the dining hall, Helene felt a weight lift off her shoulders. The decision to move into the retirement facility had been the right one, and she embraced the opportunity to live life on her terms. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Helene, her departure had triggered a series of events back at her son's house, unraveling the truth about the housekeepers and setting the stage for a confrontation that would expose Esther's deceptive ways. In the serene confines of the retirement facility, Helene's days were filled with newfound peace and camaraderie. Yet, the revelation of Esther's false beliefs about the housekeepers lingered in her mind. Fueled by a desire for justice, Helene decided it was time to expose the truth. One day, she received a call from her son, urging her to return and help resolve the mounting issues back home. Unfazed, Helene stood her ground, determined to bring clarity to the distorted narrative. Upon Esther's reluctant arrival at the facility, Helene chose to confront her. "Esther, it's time you know the truth about the housekeepers. Your assumptions were false, and I won't let you tarnish their reputation any longer," Helene asserted, her voice firm. Esther scoffed dismissively. "What are you talking about, Helene? I don't have time for your delusions. We have real problems to deal with." Helene, however, was undeterred. "No more lies, Esther. I paid the housekeepers. They were never your husband's employees. Your threats and mistreatment were based on a false premise, and it's time you acknowledge that." Esther, now visibly agitated, retorted, "You're just trying to save face. I don't believe a word you're saying. You've always been against me." A fellow resident, Richard, overheard the commotion and approached the two women. "Ladies, there's no need for this. Let's sit down and discuss things calmly. Misunderstandings can be resolved through open communication," he suggested, trying to mediate. Helene, with a steely gaze, replied, "Richard, this is a matter of truth. Esther needs to hear it, whether she believes it or not." As the confrontation unfolded, Helene's determination to set the record straight clashed with Esther's refusal to accept the reality. Little did they know that this confrontation would be the catalyst for a cascade of events that would not only expose Esther's deceptive ways, but also lead to a dramatic shift in the dynamics of the family. The confrontation between Helene and Esther continued to escalate, with the truth hanging in the balance. Determined to expose Esther's lies, Helene decided to bring forth evidence of her financial contributions to the household. In a room filled with residents who had gathered to witness the drama, Helene unfolded her bank statements and receipts. "Esther, take a look at these. I paid the housekeepers. It was never your husband's money supporting them. Your assumptions have caused pain and suffering, and it's time for the truth to prevail, Helene declared, her voice unwavering. Esther, now faced with tangible evidence, seemed momentarily taken aback. This can't be true. I don't understand. Why would you keep this from us? She stammered, trying to deflect. Helene, with a sense of triumph, responded, I tried to tell you, Esther, but you never listened. Your assumptions and mistreatment of the housekeepers were based on a false narrative. It's time for you to acknowledge the truth. A resident named Emily, known for her wise counsel, interjected, Esther, sometimes the truth is hard to accept. It takes humility to admit when we're wrong. Helene is providing an opportunity for reconciliation. Esther, torn between disbelief and embarrassment, struggled to find words. I need time to process this. It's a lot to take in, she finally conceded, her pride visibly wounded. As the confrontation reached a tentative resolution, Helene felt a mix of emotions. The weight of Esther's false assumptions had been lifted, and the truth had come to light. Little did they know that this revelation would be the catalyst for a deeper unraveling of Esther's deceptive ways, and set the stage for a family dynamic reshaped by truth and accountability. With the truth exposed, a fragile peace settled in the retirement facility. Helene, having confronted Esther and unveiled the deception, faced the challenge of deciding the next steps in her relationship with her son and daughter-in-law. One day, as Helene enjoyed a quiet moment in the facility's garden, Esther appeared, her face a mix of contrition and desperation. Helene, we need to talk. I never knew about the money you were contributing. I'm sorry for everything, Esther pleaded, her voice tinged with regret. Helene, contemplating the sincerity of Esther's apology, responded, Esther, the damage has been done. Mistreating others based on false assumptions is unacceptable. I need to prioritize my own well-being now. A fellow resident, William, approached them, offering a perspective. Sometimes, healing requires distance. Helene, do what's best for you. Esther, take this as an opportunity for personal growth and reflection. Helene, with a heavy heart, decided to cut ties with her son and Esther. She obtained a restraining order, ensuring a protective barrier against the emotional turmoil that had defined her past. Esther, struggling with the reality of the severed ties, implored, Helene, please reconsider. We're family, and I promise things will change. Helene, now resolute, replied, I've given you chances before, Esther, but the mistreatment and deception have gone too far. It's time for me to move forward, independent of the toxic dynamics that have plagued our relationship. As Helene made the decision to prioritize her peace and well-being, the reality of severed ties loomed over the family. Little did she know that this chapter marked not just an ending but the beginning of a new phase, where Helene could finally embrace the independence she had longed. In the tranquil embrace of the retirement facility, Helene found herself navigating the uncharted waters of independence. Free from the toxic dynamics of her past, she savored the newfound peace that permeated her days. As she sat in the communal area, enjoying a cup of tea with Hannah, her trusted confidant, Helene reflected on the journey that led her to this moment. Hannah, sipping her tea, remarked, You've come a long way, Helene. It takes strength to choose peace over toxicity. How are you feeling now that you've cut ties with your son and Esther? Helene, a serene smile gracing her face, replied, It's liberating, Hannah. I never imagined I could find such solace. I've surrounded myself with supportive friends here, and I'm discovering a sense of self-worth that had long been overshadowed. Meanwhile, Martha, the eloquent woman Helene had met earlier, joined the conversation. Helene, life is too short to be tethered to negativity. You've earned the right to live on your own terms. Cheers to embracing independence. As they toasted to Helene's newfound freedom, a sense of camaraderie filled the room. The communal space became a hub of shared stories, laughter, and mutual support. Days turned into weeks, and Helene engaged in activities that brought joy and fulfillment. Richard, the mediator who had witnessed the confrontation between Helene and Esther, approached her with a warm smile. "Helene, you're an inspiration. You faced adversity head-on and chose a path of peace. It's never too late to embrace a life that aligns with your true self," Richard remarked, his eyes reflecting admiration. Helene, embracing the support of her new community, felt a sense of contentment that she hadn't known in years. The facility provided not only care, but also an environment where Helene could nurture her passions and enjoy the company of those who valued her for who she was. As the sun set on another day in the retirement facility, Helene felt gratitude for the newfound independence she had embraced. The journey was not without its challenges, but Helene had emerged stronger, resilient, and ready to savor the twilight years on her terms.